probably one of the better events, DJ events that I've been to in a minute. And you know, Traps took it all the way, man. Hopefully he can take it all the way back to the Bay when, you know, when he goes out to New York and then hopefully the world. But it was definitely a place to be, at least for that day, for turntablism, just being there was so many people that are established already in turntablism. So I was talking to Positively Red about it, and he made a comment about somebody whose style was similar to somebody else, and I said, you know what, that's a great thing to notice, because that person does work with this person, who, you know, but only somebody who's been around for a long time would know where certain styles come from, and know what still, you know, as far as like people are, what they're doing now, where those styles come from, and maybe what the direction of those styles may be in the future. Yeah, actually, I had a album release party there back in 2008. Now I think, with a gang of people, and it was for my Questless album, and that was one of the better shows that I've had there for sure. But I've had, you know, blast every time I've gone to Amoeba to perform. But even if I'm not there performing, I have a blast there because I get to go look for records. I don't even consider myself a collector, man. But I got a gang of records. But I don't even. There's guys who collect, who are serious about collecting records. But I love my records, and to me, having all this, which I don't intend on getting rid of, to me, that's where I get a lot of my musical education from. You know, so I think it's important. Yeah, it's fine to have, you know, files and have the tools that you need to be able to play out in the world and, you know, compete and whatnot. But I think you get a whole other sort of package when you are looking at a physical record, actual physical record. Well, he does a little more old school and, you know, party rocking type stuff, but he's super into Bay Area stuff. He goes by DJ Train. He's part of a collective of DJs. They have a crew called High Stakes Entertainment alongside with DJ Basic and Ewok, and they've been playing for a long time now. So that's my oldest son, and my youngest son, he's a young Mozart on the turntables, man. This dude is 2 years old, and he's very musical, and, you know, I haven't shown him a whole lot, but he's just kind of doing it on his own.
So he just sort of found himself his way in here and stepped up on this setup, like from seeing you doing it all the time?
No, I'll show you actually. He's got his own setup, and I'm not kidding.
I love it. I love it. His own techniques? So wow.
Yeah, he's doing it.
Wow, that is so funny. That is so funny.
Yeah. And he'll flip the record over and then dance, do a little break dancing while he's playing that time with the beats. Yeah, he's a trip, man. He's really cool, man. He's so energized.
And he's just two or
he's
two?
He just turned 2, man.
Wow. So, with practicing, you have everything here, everything is plugged in when I walked in the door. Do you still practice every day, and how important is it to practice as a DJ?
It you know, it depends what you have going on. It's important to practice in general, even if there's nothing major going on, but I find it that just making it a habit makes it a whole lot easier to get up on stage and perform, because the amount of time that it takes to execute or to get warmed up is, you know, it's a lot shorter. You know, so it's better to just be constantly practicing, you know.
Now, you've put out an awful lot of records over the years, including many battle and break records, many with Too Fresh, I think 8 in all. So
yeah, we put out quite a handful of records. This is the last one that came out just a couple months ago. This is Scratch 101. So this one, for instance, we got a little experimental thing we did with the grooves, where you have, it's a scratch record, it's still skipless, but you got one sound and it's a certain length, and then the second sound on that same groove is just shorter, like a lot shorter. But as the needle goes into the grooves a bit more, as the time progresses a bit more, the first sound gets shorter and the second sound will get longer, increasing the pitch of the sound, and therefore just making it easier for you to find like a specific pitch that you want to either cut up for a particular beat, or I find it that it's helpful if you're just trying to warm up and you want to sound that's this sharp or not, that you know where to go on the record.
So, and it comes. You gave me a copy. It was black vinyl, so it comes in clear vinyl as well.
Yeah, this is a highly limited edition.
Okay.
I don't know how many. It's probably like 50 of them out there.
And then you have another one coming soon.
So, yeah, so I got another record coming out. Just got the test pressings. So it's nothing because it's a test pressing, but I got a couple, a couple electro beats on there, and then the other side is just sort of up-tempo pieces that you want to scratch.
And from looking at it, it seems like a hell of a lot of grooves there.
A whole
you
lot of
squeeze in
samples.
a lot of samples there.
A whole lot of sounds on there for sure.
Is it hard to come up with new samples that DJs are going to really want, or have they all been used? You find you kind of rearrange them?
See, a lot of these sounds we recorded years ago, 3-4 years ago. Some of these sounds go that far back, but were sounds that I always wanted to cut up. I always wanted to feel, how would it feel like to have all those compiled on record. So what I've been doing is just sort of collecting them over the years, and now when I got a new record idea that I want to put out, I just go back into those sessions and just pull stuff that's already working.
Going back 20 years, you guys were pioneering bulletproof scratch hamsters with the Hamster Breaks record. Back then, there wasn't other records that you could kind of, judge it off of or base it. So who had the input then, and how did you go about picking the sounds for that Hamster Breaks?
Well, when we first made Hamster Breaks, it wasn't meant to be a strictly scratch record. So we had beats on there, and we had, other weird, tweaky things on there. But then we figured that we could scratch that record, But a lot of the influence to make that record just came from random, like Simon Harris and all these other things. But then as we were producing that record, we figured out, oh, well, wait a minute. If we line things up in this specific way, we could use them. And then, so it was sort of an accident. Not really. We wouldn't set out to make battle records. But the segments that we started producing on there were made with the battle in mind, if that makes sense. It wasn't meant to be a battle record, but we were producing them so that we could use them for a battle. Got SF Carnaval the 24th and 25th of May with Horizons Unlimited DJ Project, and a bunch of the youth from the program will be performing there, as well as some of my DJs will be there. Also doing a San Francisco Street Food Festival in August, and that's when they close down. Gang of blocks here from 26th all the way to 20th, and there's food everywhere, and we're providing entertainment for all that as well.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. You want to finish with one little quick scratch? Some of your favorite new technology, auxiliary stuff that you use besides the turntable and the turntables and mixer nowadays? Like, what program do you use in the computer?
Well, I'm using Serato. Been using Serato for a while.
And you think it's the best one?
Well, it sort of became an industry standard. But I'm not against any other. I mean, that one works, and if you have a problem, more than likely you'll find somebody else that can help you with it. If you go out of town or whatever, somebody else may have it, so it's a whole lot easier. And the performance side of it is still, you're either good or you're not, So whether you're using vinyl, that doesn't really matter, And at least you can still use vinyl with Serato. But I'm not against any other tools that people may use. I think it's just all relative to what you're doing. If you're comfortable with it, and if you are comfortable playing an Amiga or whatever, Atari, whatever, and you got beats on there, and if you're gonna rock it using that, then by all means use that.
And you got the DJ tools there too.
Oh yeah, this thing is sweet, man. I don't know if I got any sound on. Uno, dos, uno, dos, tres. Little BS.
All right, thank you so much, DJ Quest, for Amoeba Music.
Yes, sir.
West Side.